What's up guys, it's Salvajee from the Salvajee Cartel, and of course we're back with another Overwatch video, and today I mainly just want to talk about my thoughts on the buff Bastion. I already made a video on how to counter Bastion, and I already made a video on sort of how to use Bastion effectively, kind of like a quick and straight to the point type video. So if you guys want, check those out, because of course, you know, they will help you when it comes down to dealing with Bastions and of course playing Bastion yourself. But yeah, today I just want to, you know, sort of give you guys my thoughts in sort of like a more in-depth type of way, because I haven't done that yet. Anyway, so I have to say that I'm very happy with the changes that were added to Bastion, because now he actually feels like a playable hero, right? I mean, before Bastion was probably like, what, F tier? Maybe even D tier, honestly. But for the most part, Bastion was just a hero that only worked if you pretty much brought him out on surprise. Unless, of course, you were like a Bastion specialist and a Bastion main and you knew a lot about Bastion, you couldn't really play Bastion to like a really high competitive level. Bastion would always just constantly get countered by pretty much just any hero. Sure, sometimes, you know, you would get teams that didn't, you know, that wouldn't know how to deal with Bastions, and I got a lot of those teams during Season 3, you know. Every time I would play King's Row, I would go Bastion on attack and defense, and I would probably end the match with like, what, 40 to 60 kills. But yeah, for the most part, Bastion was always a hero that, you know, was honestly not that great, and I feel like this buff is literally the perfect thing for Bastion. Like, I feel like this buff did Bastion justice. Honestly, I like the changes that this Bastion has so far, and of course keep in mind that these are kind of like my first impressions, and maybe, you know, later on the season I do change, you know, my opinions and my perspective on this Bastion, and I realize how OP he is, because, you know, this Bastion buff just came out and people still don't know how to exploit him to the fullest extent. But again, you know, I just want to say that I'm really happy with this Bastion. I feel like he is an actual playable hero now. I feel like you can actually go places with this Bastion, whether before, you know, you could only play an effective Bastion if the enemy team just didn't really know how to deal with you. So yeah, those are my sort of like general thoughts on this Bastion. Now let's talk about some things that people were freaking out over and complaining over and all of that good stuff, okay? The nano boosted Bastion. A lot of people sort of completely, you know, overreacted to this, saying that the nano boosted Bastion is super OP and all that stuff. And for the most part, every time I get nano boosted as Hanzo, either the enemy team just completely focuses me, I get pinned, I get earth shatter, I get ulted, or, you know, for the most part, people just run away, right? Because Bastion's ult is very loud. Now, of course, you know, people, the season just started, people haven't gotten the hang of, you know, how to play super effectively with Bastion and how to exploit him with other heroes. So you know, I'm still kind of on the middle, you know, when it comes down to the nano boosted Bastion and all that stuff, because, you know, it might be a problem maybe later on this season, but as of now, I really don't see it as a huge problem. And for the most part, think about it. When do you actually see you know, a freaking nano boosted Bastion? Like what I'm trying to say is that for you to coordinate with your Ana and your Bastion, like, you know, that's kind of rare. You know what I mean? Like, Ana isn't going to have her ult at the same time that you have your ult, so, you know, it's not something that you're going to see every single game, specifically since you get ults, you know, sort of slower, as, you know, when you did in the past. In the past, you would get ults faster. So yeah, that's just one thing. The nano boosted Bastion, honestly, I feel like, you know, a lot of people just overreacted, okay? A lot of people also say and have said that his self-healing is very good, and sometimes you can just out-heal the damage that other people are doing, and you can just escape combat and of course win gunfights. And honestly, I don't really think this is a problem, and I don't really think this makes him OP. In fact, it just makes him a viable hero. D.Va has the defense matrix, Soldier has the biotic field, Winston has his bubble, and Bastion has his self-heal. That's honestly literally the only thing that Bastion has that kind of makes him a viable hero. That, and of course his ultimate, right? But keep in mind, Bastion only has one ability, which is self-heal, and the only thing that does damage is of course Bastion's weapon and sentry. And also, I just want to say, man, for the most part, there are a lot of YouTubers out there that they don't give a shit about Overwatch, and they just care about their own Overwatch experience. So they want to be selfish, and they want to make a big deal about, you know, a hero just because they, you know, the hero gets nerfed, and you know, they don't have to deal with the hero. I do want you guys to keep that, you know, into perspective. But yeah, the self-heal It's what makes Bastion very, very good. Sometimes people say, oh, you know what, Bastion can just run away, you know, and just, you know, self-heal and just pretty much ignore all the damage that I'm doing to him. But again, this really isn't crazy. This isn't like an actual logical argument, because let's take a look at Soldier, Pharah, Reaper, Genji. They have abilities that help them to get out of combat. And again, Bastion self-healing is what makes Bastion get out of combat. I can either self-heal and finish off my enemy because I'm going to have the advantage when it comes down to health, and of course I can just self-heal and then fall back and regroup with my teammates. It is a very, very good ability, and if you're coordinating with your team, the self-heal can sort of be exploited to a way that, you know, it's kind of, I guess you could say, cheesy. But again, you know, we haven't played Bastion enough to kind of judge him fully. This is just like a first impressions type video. For the most part, his sentry mode is actually pretty good. What's this thing called? Yeah, you know, it's not really a problem. The sentry mode does what it's supposed to do. It just destroys tanks. I feel like in the past we didn't really have a hero that was the tank destroyer specialist, and now Bastion is this hero. He can go on sentry mode and he can do massive damage to tanks, and you know, he can destroy squishies, of course, if you're within a good range. But anyways, guys, those are my thoughts on the new Bastion. First impressions, of course. If you enjoyed the video, drop it a like. Give me, you know, let me know your thoughts in the comment sections below. And thank you guys very much for watching. I'll be seeing you guys on the next video. And yeah, let me know how Season 4 of Competitive is going for you guys. Peace out.